In this video, we're using Pentester Labs PHP include and post-exploitation ISO as our vulnerable web application. I'll browse to that on the right. I also have a fresh install of Kali 2. I'll provide links to both of those resources as well as all the commands I use in this video's description. Overview of the video, we're going to use Nicto to scan the site for vulnerabilities, upload some code to gain a remote shell, create and upload an SSH key, and access port 22 behind a firewall with socat. And we're going to attach a remote SQL service to our local host and access the site's database and information. First thing we're going to do is browse to the site. It's a call for paper site. We can submit some information as a PDF file. We can create an account and log into that account at this page. Now the first thing we're going to do is use Nicto to scan the site. That command is nicto tac-h and the URL of the site. Nicto is going to look for specific software versions, specific files, bad configurations, which may lead to SQL injection, cross-site scripting, directory traversal, and in our case, it's going to find that local remote file include is possible. Okay, so it found an admin page, local remote file include is possible, some interesting directories, tried to access a file on the site, so let's see if we can do that as well and verify this file include. So we're going to go page equals etsy/shadow. We see failed opening, shadow.php. The site's trying to get a PHP file, so we're going to nullify that request with %00. This is the null byte trick. We're getting permission denied, failed opening Etsy shadow. So let's try another file on the server. Let's try Etsy passwd. And that returned it for us. So let's use the call to papers feature of this site to upload some PHP code and get the server to execute some commands to give us remote access. So this is the PHP code we're going to use, but this site requires us to upload a PDF. So it does extension and content checking. What we're going to have to do is open up a PDF file, take a look at the header of that file, and we're going to place this header in our PHP code so that not only will this website accept our file shell.pdf, it'll pass the content check. We're going to do that with %pdf tac 1.5. Save that. Right quit. Now we're going to create an account real quick and upload our PDF file. Okay, that passed both content and extension checking. We're going to log in and see where our file exists on the server. Okay, it's at upload/shell.pdf. So what we're going to do on our Kali instance is open up a netcat listener on port 5412. And we're basically going to pass this command in the browser to the remote server. We're going to tell it to netcat to Kali over port 5412 and give us bash shell capabilities. Now we are adding some ASCII characters. The %00 was the null byte trick. We're also entering %20 to signify spaces in this command. So it's going to open up the listener, ls, and we have remote access. Now what we want to do is use our remote access to upload an SSH key to the server, but we're going to find that port 22 is blocked in the firewall. We're getting connection refused. So what we're going to do is some port redirection with socat to associate the remote port 22 with a local port so that we can access it behind the firewall. So now we want to tell the vulnerable system to sudo apt-get install socat. And now what we're going to do is create an SSH key on Kali. and we're going to upload that to the remote server. But our command is going to be ssh-keygen tac capital N for passcode and tac capital F to create the file vulnerable. Now that created two files. Vulnerable is our private key and vulnerable.pub is our public key. We're going to cat our public key. And we're going to issue the ID command on the vulnerable server to see who we're logged in as, www-data. We're going to make directory at the root of that user .ssh. And we're going to upload our public key file onto the server in that folder. So we're going to take this value, we're going to place it in here. We're sending this to .ssh, the folder we just created, and we're putting this in the file authorize keys. This is where SSH is going to look to determine who can authenticate to the server. So we'll upload our key. Now we want to open a socat listener on Kali on port 443, and it's going to send that traffic to its local port 2222. Okay. Now we're going to tell the vulnerable system to send its local traffic 22 to our Kali's IP and port 443. Now we're going to SSH to our local port 2222. We're going to log in as www-data, and we're going to use the private key file vulnerable. Okay, so it appears I may have had a key in there already. I'm going to use this command to remove that. And we'll run the SSH command again. Okay, it's recognizing our key. We'll say yes. We'll enter our passphrase of test123. And now we have a remote shell to the server. So now we're going to use a SSH command to associate a remote SQL service listening on the vulnerable host with our local port 13306. So on the vulnerable server, we're going to do a netstat to see that this service 3306 is listening. We're going to open up a terminal in Kali, and we're going to issue a similar SSH command, except this time we're going to pass the tac capital L. We're going to list local port 13306 on our local hosts, and we're going to associate that with remote port 3306. So we're getting connection refused. I have to close my session that I have open on that port. And let's issue that command again. Okay, it's asking for our passphrase, test123. We have shell access. Now we can issue a MySQL command with our local root user. We're going to add the tac capital P 13306 to log into the remote database. Okay, now we can issue show databases. And we want to do use MySQL. And do show tables. And do show columns from user. We're going to select, first we're going to scroll up. We're going to select host, user, and password. So we have host, user, password, from user. Okay, so we have the host, the user, and the hash, which is his password. So we've dumped some information from the database, and that concludes the video. Thanks for watching.